The broadcast is live. All right, guys. This is Coach Arnie on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet singles talk network. We are here on the Health, Love, and Life show. And, of course, I'm Coach Arnie. And we're going to have a little discussion again tonight. We've got a lot of chaos in our world. And you know what? I just had a breakthrough. I mean, it's been an up and down last couple of weeks for me because I'm normally a very, very positive guy, and I don't like a lot of uncertainty that I can't go after. I mean, it's not about controlling, it's about a goal. Like if I see a mountain in front of me, I may not have ever climbed the mountain, but I like the idea that I can see it and I can figure it out, and it's up to me. I may not make it. I may have to come back, but at least I can see my target and calculate how to attack it or plan it or whatever else I may be. But when other people have control over your life, it makes things sometimes too chaotic. And like I said, I don't generally fall for overwhelm or anxiety, but when things get a little bit out of control, and I feel like, okay, I need to be doing something. And I know there's a lot of people that have that same feeling, that it just got me thinking. And I just had a couple breakthroughs, real breakthroughs. One was last week when I just kind of gave it up to God and said, hey, look, you're in charge of this. Help me to kind of keep my head clear. The first breakthrough was to not listen to any news reports at all. I had some key sources that I went to, that I trusted, that I researched. I did my own homework because I wanted to educate myself. I've been in the healthcare field over 30 years, and I wanted to be smart about it. And I continue to go to those sources, and some of them are administrators in hospitals and trusted doctors that I know of, and of course some legitimate government sources that are out there. But you have to do your own homework. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to tell you to be your own expert, and that's what I've done. And so that was one of my first breakthroughs. And the second breakthrough I had was just yesterday, really, just listening to some other people that I follow, and I thought, you know what, enough of this worry and quit worrying about things that I can't control, things that I teach actually, and just what can you do today to create some momentum. And you know what, I'm doing it right now. I've got access to all these platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, this show with CC here, TikTok, gosh, you name it. I can write on Medium. I can do YouTube. I can be talking all day long and promoting who I am, sharing with people who I am, reintroducing myself to people, who I am, because I know this, guys. I know this, that we all want to do business with who we know, like, and trust. So I got to thinking, okay, bam, yeah. So, man, just started this morning, Twitter, Facebook, because I've been slacking the last few days because I'm thinking I'm not inspired. I can't write anything. I'm not inspired. And I thought today, screw that. I got inspired, and I started posting and making videos and talking to people. And, just a little while ago, I thought, man, I haven't had this much energy in a week. And another thing that was really pulling me down is I've had this Grand Canyon trip planned for, a month almost. Because at first I was going to go on the 13th of March. It was my anniversary weekend. My wife and I were going to go up to the Grand Canyon. I was going to show her around. She was going to go to Flagstaff. I was going to do my run. And then meet her the next day in Flagstaff. And then the weather got really bad, so we decided to postpone it till tomorrow, really. And all week long, I've been worried because I started a week ago. I had people that I knew calling me up and saying, they're going to close the Grand Canyon. Again, reporting false information. So I'd go on, check my sources. Nope, not there. And as of right now, it still hasn't been closed. I had a very good friend that I was worried about because he's somewhat of a worrier. And he called me the other day and said, don't listen to those people. He called them the apocalypse. How do you say that? Apocalypse zombies. He goes, don't listen to them. They're out there just trying to tell everybody on the planet what to think. So, and he was a very trusted resource, especially with the Grand Canyon, because he's got his ear to the ground. And then he called me last night, and he said, I'm hearing words that they're having discussions in the town of Tucson, which is the town right outside the Grand Canyon. But he says nothing's going to happen unless they do something on the federal level with the Department of Interior. Well, they didn't. And even if a little town wants to close the Grand Canyon, it doesn't matter. It's a federal park. It's a national park. They can't close it. States can do whatever they want. And believe me, there's a lot of nutty states out there doing whatever they want. So again, false information from people that don't know, and other people trying to tell me what to think. That was playing with my head. I let people into my head messing with me. And that was just causing all this mess inside of my body and my head. So I was out of sync. I felt like I was out of rhythm. The only thing that made me feel good was getting to the gym. I have an underground gym. I can't tell you about it though. But I have an underground gym that I go to where we're hunkered down in there, and it's growing. We're trying not to let it grow too much. But we're all in this together. We're supporting each other. We're positive with each other. We're encouraging each other. So I love being there. I've been actually, because I've had more time, because I've had some cancellations, that I'm actually spending more time. And I was actually driving away the other night. I was there with somebody. And I turned and looked and smiled. And I said, man, I love this place. I love it because of what it stands for, the positivity, the encouragement, the love. And so I started to feel this surge of energy coming back in my body, and then listened to a few more things yesterday. And then today it was like, let's go, game on. Let's you create the momentum. Don't wait for these people around you to do that. Just love them. And if they're negative, spend less time with them, move on, and create that momentum in your life that you need to get through this. Because we all can do. I had a great conversation with my daughter this morning after I had to cancel my Grand Canyon trip, because I kind of made myself a deal. I said, if there's transportation, meaning a cab, because I need a cab to get to one area of the park to the other. And because my wife was going to go up there, and she was having second thoughts about it because we were going to stay in Flagstaff. And there's nothing to do. There's no restaurants to go to now. And I mean, I could do other things. I mean, I was teasing her about it today, but it wouldn't be fair. I mean, I'd have a great weekend because I'd do the Grand Canyon, but she'd be waiting and couldn't do anything. It just wouldn't be fair. And so I decided if there's no rides, because I would have gone solo, which I've done before, but I wanted to do it my way. And I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I looked on my calendar. I go, this still works. I still got a month to get this event in. And I have a feeling that this thing's going to be blown over here in the next couple of weeks. Just staying positive and looking at some real numbers, some real statistics. And I just feel good about it. And I just thought all of a sudden I had a surge of positivity in my life. And okay, now how can I be more productive? How can I be more, how can I improve my performance without worrying about other people? Because I even had another delay of a company I'm working for, and they delayed they were going to do a performance of some new software tomorrow, and they've had to delay it because other people haven't been able to get into the office. It's like, It's okay. It didn't even put a damper in my productivity. I sent out an email, a note to a couple guys that I'm working with, say, hey, I'm going to be in town this weekend. If you want to work this weekend, I've already heard back from one. He's good to go. So made some other arrangements, had another client get the okay to go into a facility to see her mom. So positive. I'm not listening to the negative voices that are out there. And believe me, there are a lot of negative voices. I mean, there's people in my own town that want to shut down my freaking state from me even going outside and going for a walk. How insane is that? If they don't want to go outside, they don't have to. And again, this is my opinion, but do your own homework. Do your own homework. Okay. And all I know is this: one of the greatest things you can do for any kind of a virus is warm air and sunshine. It's a beautiful thing. That's why you don't see very many flus and things like that happening in the summer, because they don't thrive in warm air. So plus exercise is so good for your lungs, and this thing, suppose it gets into your lungs. Exercise is so good for your lungs and open you up, and it's great for this here too. You know, as a medical person, you know, I was always taught the Hippocratic Oath. I'm not a doctor, but do no harm. So if the cure is worse than the disease, what are you doing? So if I'm giving you a pill and it's actually worse than what you have, am I doing you any good? Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. So, you know, if I have a client, she's 90, she has dementia, her daughter can't even see her, her family can't see her because they put her in some kind of, if they want to, they have to be in some kind of glass thing that she can't touch. She's 90 years old with some dementia. She's not going to understand that. That's just wrong. I'm sorry. That's wrong. And you know, it could be disastrous. And you know what? They're not going to say a doggone thing about it if something bad happens to her. And I'm not talking about the coronavirus. I'm talking about something else bad that happens to. I've been studying older people for 30 years. And one of the most serious things that they have to deal with is depression. And you're just lopping it on there in buckets. You know, I'm a big believer that we all come into every situation with two buckets. One bucket has water in it. The other bucket has gasoline in it. And some people choose to bring the water in and calm things down. Some people choose to bring their bucket of gasoline in there and throw it on there and make things bigger. And I'm sorry, but I'm seeing a lot of that right now. And it doesn't make me feel good. I try to avoid it, but when it crosses into my path, I have to address it. And now I'm not saying that there are some situations outside of this that we need to bring some gasoline to it and get things fired up. But on the other side of it, look, you know, and there are other people too that will come into a situation that's on fire, that everybody's fired up, and they throw on their bucket of water or their wet blanket and try to make everything good. We're not talking about that right now. And I think everybody here knows what I'm talking about. So this all leads to, again, how can we be more productive? How can we improve our performance? And that comes through some things that let's talk about that we all can do starting today. We all can do them. Now, some people are just fine. Some people's jobs, I mean, I drive to clients all day long where I can, but there's one person I'm literally driving all the way across town to see this guy because I have to. And it's like, man, I wish I had some other stops I could make here. But I'm enjoying watching construction happening. Because I remember, you know, 12, 13 years ago when we had that crash, there was no construction going on because that's what my business was based on. I was in the rehabilitation business, and we got a lot of work injuries in my facility. And when all the work stopped, the work injuries stopped too. But today, I'm enjoying looking at high rises going up, and workers clearing out large parcels of land to build homes and other warehouses and other things that they're building. It's a wonderful thing. It makes me feel good. It just encourages me to know that good stuff is happening. It's not our fault that this went on. It's not our fault that this virus came to this country. It's not our fault. Okay. Now, what we are responsible for, which I've talked about quite a few times here, we are all responsible for how we respond to it. Just like I am responsible. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water. Just like I'm responsible for how I was responding the last few days. I let my Grand Canyon trip mess with me. I let other people's negative voices mess with me. My fault. I'm not blaming anybody but me. So once we come to that realization, now we can make choices on who we listen to, who we hang out with, and all those things. So these are important things to note that, I choose to see workers working as a good sign. Building, construction. To me, that's so positive because it's telling me that everything is okay. We just got a few people we got to get well, and let's get back on track here. And don't let this mindset of negativity, which some people have. I mean, I've listened to some pretty prominent people. I'll give you one, Bill Gates. He's out now. Granted, I'm not judging him. He probably has a wonderful heart to say, hey, look, we need to keep everybody safe and we shouldn't do anything till June. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you have a wonderful heart. You also have a 40,000 square foot mansion that you can get whatever you want by sending out one of your workers to go get it for you. And it just because you're own a big company doesn't mean you have a lot of wisdom. You have a nice heart. Look, you don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm with you, but it doesn't mean you have wisdom. It doesn't mean you have wisdom. Okay. So again, choices. We can choose who we listen to. I choose not to listen to him because he doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent me. See, and that's my choice. So how we respond to what life does to us is a big deal right now because life is throwing us a couple knuckleballs. Throwing us some sliders and curveballs and all kind of whoopsie-doo pitches. And a lot of people are whiffing. I was whiffing. I had to reevaluate. I had to go to my sources of encouragement. Okay, and get kind of a little mini checkup to make sure I was okay. And then I had to make some decisions. But I have faith. So I used God. And I waited for God's answer this morning. I even told my wife, I'm waiting for God's answer. And it came. Not going. Even though after I finished my easy workout this morning, I go, man, I feel good. I feel good. I can do this. I'm ready to go. Because I still hadn't made up my decision yet. Okay. So you have to put into your formula what you need to make some decisions on how you're going to respond to what's going on in your life. Now, there are some of us that are in really bad situations. And I don't mean from a health standpoint. It's because where you live. You're being told what to do. I mean, if you're seeing this and you're in a foreign country like France, I'm an outdoor athlete. I'm an adventure athlete. And I was reading the other day where in France, they'll track you on your Strava. And Strava is a platform I have on my phone here that tracks all my events and what I'm doing. I put everything I do on Strava. And they're tracking people on Strava to find them if they're out one hiking or walking or riding a bike. How would you like to live in a place like that? California, they're going to shut off your power if they find that you're in a business, whatever you're doing, even if you're in there just making widgets. You're not interacting with the public. They're going to shut you down, So I'm sorry. I mean, we can agree to disagree. That's what life's all about. It's a wonderful thing. So, and you may have a completely 180 degree opinion of mine. That's okay too. I will never judge you on your opinion, ever. The only time I will begin to respond to you is when you do this to me. When you stick your finger in my face and tell me what I have to do as a human being. My choice, as long as I'm not breaking the law. Now, if you pass a law, then that's, again, now I have to adhere to that law. It's a law. Okay, it's a law. I know some communities here in my own state because I was listening to somebody on their message board. You know, these communities have message boards. And I saw 3 restaurants. And then we're going to take 3 restaurants. Let's come back to hold that point. 3 restaurants. We're going to take a few seconds here for a quick break, and I'll be right back. All right, here we are. We are back. And if you see there, that's the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet singles radio. And this is the Health, Love, and Life Show. And of course, I'm Coach Arnie. So I was just sharing you a quick thought, and then we're going to get into our productivity and performance points. But I had to kind of put this background together because this is not a typical productivity and performance schedule, this, do this, because these are unprecedented times. You can't do that right now unless you're in a business that you can, but you can't do this right now. So I know 3 restaurants that put on this note board. We are going back to business next week. We've had enough of this. We're doing, they've made their own decision. Now, if the community passes a law, then I guess they're going to have to deal with that. But right now, there's not. It's all been, you won't do this, you won't do that. Well, you know what? That's fine until somebody doesn't want to do it. That's why we live here. So they'll deal with that. But right now, they're going to they made a decision. We're going back to work. We're going back to work. I honor that. That's their choice. As a customer, I can choose to do that. You know, I know I'm thinking to myself, I was driving around today, I'm thinking all these restaurants are ordering takeout where you order it, you park, you go into the restaurant, you pick up your stuff, and then you leave. I'm thinking, well, what's the difference in that and going in and sitting there with your family that you're sitting at home with anyways? What's the difference? Scratching my head. And if this was so bad that you couldn't go to a restaurant, why are we allowed to go to grocery stores that are packed? Not all of them, but some of mine are still packed. And people walking around all over the place, standing in line at the grocery store, more than 10 people. And that's okay. Just curious. I'm just thinking. So those folks made up their own mind. Good for them. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for them. So let's look at some things here. I mean, I already talked about the fact that you can go out tonight, starting tonight, you can make videos. You can take your phone right here. You can do videos on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you have enough followers, I think you can do it on TikTok. I'm just figuring that out. Instagram, you can make videos and share with people who you are. You can talk about things remember who you are, not about buy my stuff. That's one of the biggest things I've been talking to people all day long about. You know, introduce yourself as somebody who can help and bring value to other people, not as somebody who just wants to sell you their stuff. Okay? That's a big turn off for me. Hey, hi, my name is Jim. Arnie, will you buy my stuff? No, I won't. But who are you? You know, it's like you get a phone call all day long from these different companies, and the first thing out of their, if it's not a robocall, first thing out of their mouth is, buy my stuff. Hi, is this the homeowner? Yeah, buy my stuff. That is so horrible. Whoever started this nonsense? It is the worst sales tactic in the world. I think all they're doing is see how many How many phone calls can we make and say, buy my stuff? Because maybe 1 out of 1,000 might buy their stuff. Because if it's something I need, I'm going to buy it anyways. I don't care who you are. I'll just buy it because I don't need you anyways. And I certainly won't come back. I'll go somewhere else who's got it cheaper. Okay? So get out there, make some videos, but introduce yourself. Talk about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are you all about? What value do you bring? And just, it's all about you and who you are. And as a human being, your brand. You can talk about that all day long without offering anything to anybody. Okay? Just introduce yourself. You got so many platforms. You can write. If you're into writing, you can go on and comment on people's posts. You can write articles on Medium. You can do long posts on LinkedIn, long posts on Facebook. You can post, you can write. If you have that gift for writing, get out there and write. Some really good things you can do. So that's a great way. So videos and writing are wonderful ways that we can kind of introduce ourselves back to our communities. Let them know who you, especially right now in this chaotic state that we're in right now. People need you. They really do. I mean, think about the people back east in New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts. They're in a pickle. They're in a hot zone. I mean, they're surrounded by a lot of this mess. And we won't get into that, but it's not good, you know? And they're in shutdown mode. You know, even though I was reading, I don't want to get too political, but I'm just glad I don't live there. So, but they need encouragement. They need love from you. They need to hear some positivity. They don't need any "I told you so's." They don't need any "buy my stuff. I'll help you to persevere through this horrible situation if you just buy my stuff." No. What a great time to introduce yourself to these folks, who you are. You know, be a friend. Be surprised. When this is all said and done, you might be surprised. You might get some new business. You might get some new business. So where am I going with that? I'm going with encouragement. Encouragement. It's such a powerful tool, you know, by encouraging people through your writing, by encouraging people through your videos, by encouraging people through your interactions during the day, smiling at people. I've been much more interactive with sales clerks at the stores, just talking about how it's been, or if the stores, I was making a comment at one store, how calm it was compared to another store that I was always going to. And honestly, I don't even want to go there anymore for right now. I just don't want to go. It was making me anxious being in there. The chaos, the people, the empty shelves. And I just was going to a couple other different stores they just seemed a little more calm, a little more subdued. And I was making a comment to one of the cashiers, and she goes, "Oh, we've had our moments." And I'm sure they have, but I mean, that was the first store that I went to a week ago. And I walked in there. It'll be 2 weeks from this Saturday. And I walked in and I went, "What?" All the vegetables were gone. And I said, "What is going on here?" And then it all clicked in. I talked about that, I think, last week. But yeah, encouraging people, and just trying to understand them a little better, you know, and those two things go hand in hand. If we choose to get caught up in this mess, then you're probably not going to be the person that's going to be encouraging and understanding other people, because you're way too focused on yourself. It's true. You're way too focused on mine. What's mine? And I'm not perfect. because that's the road I was heading on this week when it was like, I have to go to the Grand Canyon. Mine. I have to go to the Grand Canyon. Mine. Until I started looking at it, it's like, wait a minute. Maybe this might not be fair to my wife. The park is fine. The trails are fine. I'm not you making me feel guilty about leaving my home doesn't even faze me. It just rolls right off my back. That's your problem. It's not mine. Mine was being selfish about my wife and taking her to a city that nothing was going on because they chose to close down. So yeah, encouraging and understanding is a big part of this. And you being somebody that can encourage and understand puts you in a different category. We talked about sheepdogs last week and sheep. If you're the encouraging one and understanding one, you're not a sheep anymore. You're a sheepdog. And we need you. We need you. And you want to increase your productivity? You be the person in the room or the environment that you're in that's the positive one. That's the encouraging one. That's the uplifting one. It's not full of negativity. You're not the one repeating false information just because it makes you feel good. You're reporting facts and you're helping people by encouraging them, inspiring them. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about trying to make people feel fearful. Gee, I am so done with that. I hope you are too. So where do we go next? Well, we go to positivity. You being positive is a great way to improve your productivity. I proved it today. I had a great day. I was just on fire all day because I was staying positive. I wasn't letting this negative get in my way anymore. Enough. I was going to be positive. I was going to report facts that were feel-good facts. Yeah. And it worked. Not just with myself, but with other people. It was fun. It was just a joy to think that way. And we all can do it if we want to. We all can feel positive. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of people like to feel negative. It gives them something to complain about. Have you not heard that one before? Some people actually like to feel negative. All right, I'm as open to understanding about that as anything. I think it's more of an attention thing because I believe that all of us want attention. I mean, look at little kids. I mean, they get told no so many times in their life. I mean, I forgot the stats on it. It's incredible. But if we could encourage little kids to do positive things that get some attention, they would probably do more positive things. The problem is, because they're told no so many times, guess what they respond best to? You guessed it. No, negative stuff. So that's why you see so many more negative things they do. No, don't, stop, no. They hear this all day long, hundreds of times. Instead of encouraging the good stuff. You see them do one good thing, encourage it. Encourage the heck out of it. And this is all new. This is not new stuff, because I've been talking about this stuff here on this show for quite a while. But if you see somebody doing something good, encourage it. If you see somebody doing something good at the store to somebody, reaching on the top shelf, or I don't know, anything positive, encourage it. I promise you this. I promise you, they will leave your space. They will think about what you told them because you encourage them. People love that. And they will look for other opportunities to do that. You'll never see it. But that's what you're going to inspire them to do because they're looking for that attention from somebody else. Maybe it's at home. Because see, we all want attention. All of us, me included. We want attention. Okay? So just think about that the next time. Because being positive, encouraging somebody, man. So those three things right there, encouraging, understanding, being positive, powerful ways, tools to be more productive, to improve your performance. We're not talking about performance jumping over a high jump bar, running a 50-yard dash. We're talking performance with people, business, life. Okay? Let's get into health a little bit. How else can we be more productive? How about eating better? Especially in this time. I've talked to too many people now. Oh, my God. Coach, we're eating like crap. We're locked at home. You know, I can't stand working from home because I'm always going into the refrigerator. I said, I know, it's a trap. I caught myself doing it too. You got to just push yourself away or put good stuff in there or something. But it's a bad thing. It's creating problems. Because if we're not eating well and take care of ourselves, it does affect our body and our mind. And it makes a difference. It really does. It adds to anxiety. One of the reasons, and I've done workshops on this, one of the reasons, I'm going to take a quick drink here again. One of the reasons that I believe, and I've shared it here before, that I believe that our youth are having such a problem with anxiety and depression is because of the food they eat. All these processed foods, sugary foods, donuts, candies, all that stuff. And man, let's look in the grocery stores, guys. That's the stuff people are buying. Yeah, it's comfort food. You're anxious, sitting at home, don't know what you're going to do, lost your job, didn't lose your job. Am I going to go to work next week? Am I not going to go to work next week? That's the stuff I was thinking. They don't have the tools to get out of that. So they rely on comfort food to make them feel good. And it's not good. It's not good. So we got to eat better. How about meditation and prayer? That's a big one. Big one. If we're meditating and praying about what's going on, what you can control, what you can't, it's going to help. It's really going to help. I promise you. It'll make a difference. Because when things get really crazy, we need something to lean on. Okay? We need something to lean on. And it's not always ourselves. So we got to have something we can lean on. And it's usually our faith. And meditation or prayer will get us to that spot that we need to get to feel a little better. Okay? So it's really important that we find a way to, whether it's reading scriptures or doing other kind of meditation that you need to do, I think you need to do it. Whatever gets you into that space, that zone that you need to be into to kind of ratchet things down. Because I remember these last couple of weeks, I mean, I would come home after being in the grocery store and I was tense. I didn't like that feeling. Just didn't like that feeling. You know, I just want to get out of there. I wanted to get out of the grocery store so bad because being around all that negativity and weird stuff going on, just didn't feel good about it. Okay? So I can imagine other people were feeling. So meditation, prayer, helps you get out of that. You know, another thing that helps a lot, exercise. I think we already talked about that, but movement will help you get out of that spot. So powerful. That's why I'm sad when I hear people say they want to shut down walking trails and running trails. It's like, geez, you people have any idea what you're trying to do here? These are trying times. So, but I understand that you need to find these strategies that work for you. Meditation, prayer, exercise, wonderful things for getting this right. Because this is important. Because, like I shared earlier, I mean, suicide's huge, guys. Especially with older people that are being locked in their homes right now. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal with everybody. You know, depression. I mean, come on. And if we're not eating good foods, the depression gets worse. Worse. And, boy, I tell you what, until I see something different than that, I don't know. I don't think, man, until we see something different than what people are eating now when they get closed in, when they're stressed out, when they're making rash decisions and they're grabbing the cheap food, whether it be cereal, peanut butter and jelly on regular old bread, and donuts and candies and cakes. I think we're asking for it. We're asking for problems. And yeah, we just got to think about it. So next point as we're closing this thing out is turn off the media. I've been saying it for a week. If you don't like what you're hearing right now, turn me off. But turn off the media. Be your own expert. Gosh, find your own sites. I talked about it earlier today. Find your own sources. Go to YouTube. I don't care where you go. Facebook, Twitter. I don't really care. Find your best sources. Stop taking second and third hand information as gospel. That's not helping. That's creating more of a problem. It's not solving any problem. Go to the source. Be the expert. Quit waiting on. I had somebody comment on something last night that I wrote, and they said, well, I'm all for free press. I said, well, that's great. We haven't had a free press in almost 30 years. I would say more like 28 years. My opinion. And you guys can do whatever you want with yours. But just want you to be aware of it. So turn off the media, you feel better. Gosh, you'll feel so much better by not listening to the news. And then lastly, last point I want to leave you with is do what's best for you and your family. Stop listening to the opinion of other people. Now, granted, if somebody passed a law and you're stuck, maybe you might want to move. Do what's best for you and your family going forward. But that's really what it comes down to. Do what's best for you and your family. I mean, obviously, if you're not hurting somebody and you're not breaking the law, but you have to make that choice to do what's best for you and your family, not somebody else because somebody told you what you should do. You be the expert. You follow up on it. You make sure you're doing the right thing for you and your family. I may not agree with it, but it's on me to understand it. You do what's best for you and your family. All right, guys, listen, this has been kind of fun, but kind of negative too, but I had to get it out because I'm feeling good, man. I made some great choices. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about where I'm going. I'm feeling good about what's happening because I'm watching some good statistics. I'm listening to some good people. I'm doing my homework. I'm making lots of videos. I'm excited and excited to go to the gym tomorrow. Start to have a great workout again this weekend. I'm excited. Get excited. Stop listening to negative voices. Get excited about your life. Not my life, your life. I promise you, it'll make a difference. Guys, I love you. This is the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet singles talk radio, GoingSoloMedia.com. This is the Health, Love, and Life Show with me, Coach Arnie. And you can call me or text me at 602-390-9144, or you can email me. Let's set a time to talk. No strings attached. I just want to meet you. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you, and I am out.